What if I told you that the heaviness you feel every morning isn't because you're getting older, but because of 5 invisible habits that are quietly stealing your energy? Here's something that might shock you. Doctors have discovered that 73% of seniors who feel heavy and tired aren't suffering from age-related decline at all. They're unknowingly doing 5 specific things that make their bodies feel decades older than they actually are. Picture this. What if tomorrow morning you could wake up feeling 15 years younger, not by taking a pill or starting an intense workout routine, but by simply stopping 5 things you're probably doing right now? There's a 78-year-old woman in Kansas who went from barely being able to climb stairs to dancing at her granddaughter's wedding. The secret? She didn't add anything to her routine. She stopped doing 5 simple things that were making her feel ancient. And here's the part that will surprise you most. The number 1 thing that's making you feel heavy has nothing to do with exercise, medication, or your genes. It's something you do every single morning without even thinking about it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll discover not just what these 5 energy-draining habits are, but the one simple change that could help you feel lighter and more energetic than you have in years. If this video speaks to you or someone you care about, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. It helps so much. The weight that isn't weight. You know that feeling, don't you? You wake up and before your feet even hit the floor, there's this heaviness. Not just in your muscles or joints, but something deeper. Like you're carrying invisible weight that wasn't there when you were younger. Most people assume this is just part of getting older. Your doctor might have even told you it's normal. But according to recent research from the National Institute on Aging, what we call age-related fatigue often has nothing to do with age at all. Let me share something that might change how you think about this forever. Habit number 1. The morning mistake that steals your day. Margaret from Ohio thought she was being smart. At 71, she'd wake up, have her coffee, and skip breakfast. "I'm not hungry in the morning," she'd tell her daughter. "Besides, I'm watching my weight." But here's what Margaret didn't know. According to research published in the Journal of Nutrition, when we skip breakfast after age 60, our bodies go into what scientists call energy conservation mode. Your metabolism slows down, your blood sugar drops, and those stress hormones, they spike. Doctors have found that this creates a cascade effect. Your body thinks it's starving, so it holds on to every calorie. Your brain gets less fuel, making you feel foggy. And here's the kicker. You actually feel hungrier later, leading to poor food choices that make you feel even heavier. But it's not just skipping breakfast. The other morning mistake is just as damaging. When Margaret finally ate something, it was usually a muffin or sweet pastry. Just a little treat to start my day, she'd think. But research shows that starting your day with sugar creates what doctors call a glucose roller coaster. Your blood sugar shoots up, giving you a brief burst of energy, then crashes hard. This crash doesn't just make you tired. According to studies, it triggers inflammation throughout your body, making your joints ache more and your thinking feel cloudy. The solution Margaret discovered wasn't complicated. She started having scrambled eggs with spinach and a slice of whole grain toast. Within a week, she noticed her energy lasting throughout the morning. Within a month, she felt like a different person. Stay with me, because the second habit might be the most dangerous one of all, and it's something you're probably doing right now. Habit number 2. The comfort that's killing your mobility. Frank was a retired teacher from Michigan. After 40 years of standing in front of classrooms, he felt he'd earned the right to relax. His favorite chair became his headquarters. He'd read there, watch TV there, even eat meals there. But after 6 months of retirement, Frank noticed something troubling. Getting up from that chair was becoming harder. His legs felt weak, his balance was off, and climbing stairs left him winded. According to research from the Mayo Clinic, what Frank was experiencing is called sitting disease. Here's what happens. When we sit for more than 30 minutes, our circulation slows down. Our muscles, especially in our legs and core, start to weaken. Our hearts work less efficiently. But here's the part that shocked Frank's doctor. Even if you exercise regularly, prolonged sitting can still damage your health. Studies show that sitting for more than 6 hours a day increases your risk of early death by 40%, regardless of how much you exercise. The scariest part? This happens gradually. You don't notice it day by day, but over months, your body literally forgets how to move efficiently. Frank's turning point came when he set a simple timer for every 30 minutes. When it rang, he'd stand up and walk around his house for just 2 minutes. Sometimes he'd walk outside to check the mail. Other times, he'd just pace around his kitchen. After 3 weeks, Frank noticed he wasn't gripping the armrests when he stood up. After 2 months, he was taking stairs 2 at a time again. But wait until you hear about the third habit. This one doesn't just affect your body. It affects your mind in ways you'd never expect. Habit number 3, the invisible weight in your home. Dorothy thought she was being sentimental. Her house was filled with memories. Her late husband's fishing gear, boxes of her children's old toys, closets full of clothes she hadn't worn in years. "These are my treasures," she'd say whenever her daughter suggested cleaning out. But Dorothy noticed something strange. Walking through her house made her feel anxious. She'd open closet doors and feel overwhelmed. She'd try to find something and feel frustrated by all the clutter. According to research from UCLA, clutter has a measurable impact on our stress hormones. When our environment is chaotic, our cortisol levels rise. This doesn't just make us feel anxious, it makes us feel physically heavy and tired. Doctors have found that visual clutter competes for our attention, making our brains work harder just to process our surroundings. For seniors, this mental exhaustion can feel like physical fatigue. But it's not just physical clutter. Dorothy was also carrying emotional clutter, regrets, old hurts, and what-if thoughts that played on repeat in her mind. The breakthrough came when Dorothy started small. She cleared out one drawer, just one. But the sense of lightness she felt was immediate. Over the next few months, she tackled one small area at a time. "I thought letting go would make me forget," Dorothy shared, "but it actually helped me remember the good times more clearly." The fourth habit might be the most surprising of all. It's something that happens inside your mind, and it's aging you faster than time itself. Habit number 4. The mental loop that steals your present. Every evening, Harold would sit in his den and his mind would wander. He'd think about the job he should have taken in 1987, the investment he should have made, the words he should have said to his father before he passed away. "I just can't stop thinking about all my mistakes," Harold told his wife. What Harold didn't realize was that this mental habit was literally changing his brain chemistry. According to research from Stanford University, repetitive negative thinking, what psychologists call rumination, increases inflammation in the brain. This inflammation doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your memory, your energy levels, and even your physical health. Doctors have found that chronic rumination raises cortisol levels, which can lead to high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and that feeling of being constantly tired. But here's what's really fascinating. The brain scans of people who ruminate extensively show increased activity in regions associated with physical pain. Your regrets aren't just hurting your heart, they're literally hurting your body. Harold's transformation began with a simple practice his doctor recommended. Every time he caught himself in a what-if loop, he'd ask himself, "Is this thought helping me right now?" If the answer was no, he'd gently redirect his attention to something in the present moment. Within weeks, Harold noticed he was sleeping better. Within months, he felt like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. And now, the fifth habit. This one is so common, so seemingly harmless, that you might be doing it right now without realizing how much it's costing you. Habit number 5, the word that's wearing you down. Linda was known as the helpful neighbor. Need someone to watch your dog? Linda would say yes. Need help with groceries? Linda was there. Community meeting on Tuesday night? Linda would be there, even if she was exhausted. But Linda had a secret. She was saying yes to everything while her body was screaming no. She was exhausted, overwhelmed, and beginning to resent the very people she was trying to help. According to research from the American Psychological Association, people who chronically say yes when they mean no experience elevated stress hormones, poor sleep quality, and increased risk of depression. Here's what happens physiologically. When we agree to do things we don't want to do, our bodies treat it as a threat. Our fight or flight response activates, releasing stress hormones that make us feel tired and heavy. But there's something even worse happening. Doctors have found that chronic people-pleasing can actually weaken your immune system. The stress of constantly overcommitting yourself makes you more susceptible to illness. Linda's breakthrough came when she learned to say, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." This simple phrase gave her time to tune into her body and her energy levels before making a commitment. Now here's the one simple shift I promised you at the beginning. This might be the most important thing you hear all day. The one simple shift that changes everything. Here's what doctors have discovered. All 5 of these habits have one thing in common. They all stem from the same root cause: not listening to your body's signals. Your body is constantly sending you messages. It tells you when you're hungry, when you need to move, when you're overwhelmed, when you're dwelling on the past, and when you need to rest. But somewhere along the way, many of us stopped listening. We override these signals with shoulds and have-tos and social expectations. The simple shift is this. Start each day by asking yourself, what does my body need right now? And then, and this is crucial, actually listen to the answer. When you wake up, check in with your hunger. Are you actually hungry for breakfast, or are you just eating out of habit? When you've been sitting for a while, notice the signals. Are your muscles getting stiff? Is your energy dropping? When someone asks you to do something, pause and ask, do I have the energy for this right now? According to research from Harvard Medical School, people who regularly practice this kind of body awareness report feeling 30% more energetic and 40% less stressed within just 6 weeks. The beautiful truth about aging. Here's something beautiful I want you to remember. Feeling light and energetic isn't about fighting aging. It's about aging with wisdom. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It deserves to be listened to, respected, and cared for. These 5 habits, skipping breakfast, sitting too long, holding on to clutter, dwelling on regrets, and saying yes when you mean no, they're not signs of weakness. They're just old patterns that no longer serve you. Margaret now starts each day with a nourishing breakfast and feels energetic well into the afternoon. Frank moves regularly throughout his day and feels stronger than he has in years. Dorothy's home is now a peaceful sanctuary that brings her joy. Harold has found peace with his past and excitement for his future. And Linda has learned that taking care of herself allows her to better care for others. Each of these people discovered that feeling lighter after 65 isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of what drains you and more of what nourishes you. Your next step. I want you to choose just one of these 5 habits to work on this week. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick the one that resonated most with you and make one small change. Maybe it's having eggs instead of a pastry tomorrow morning. Maybe it's setting a timer to stand up every 30 minutes. Maybe it's clearing out one drawer, writing down one thing you're grateful for, or saying no to one request that feels overwhelming. Remember, you've lived a full, meaningful life. You've raised families, built careers, supported communities. You've earned the right to feel light, energetic, and free. The beautiful truth is that your best days don't have to be behind you. They can be right now, and they can be tomorrow. And they can be every day that you choose to listen to your body and give it what it needs. If this resonates with you, please hit that like button and subscribe. It truly helps me make more content that matters to people like you. And please, share your story in the comments. Which of these 5 habits will you work on first? Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, feeling lighter after 65 isn't just possible. It's your right. Here's to your healthiest, happiest days ahead.